Colleagues, greetings. We continue our work, and now we'll get the information from Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, spokesperson of the President's administration on ATO issues. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Militants strengthen military activities in ATO area, and they neglect Minsk agreements. Yesterday, there were 7 shells upon our positions from 122 cannons, and 15 shells from mortars 120 millimeters, and also twice they used tanks. ATO forces are ready for any scenario and can adequately respond to all provocations of the enemy. In the Mariupol direction, they don't stop battles near Shirokina, and our positions were shelled upon by militants, cannons in Sakhanka, which is 5 kilometers from line of the battle. And also there were snipers of the enemy are working there. The biggest battles in ATO on the Donetsk direction. Militants non-stop shell upon our positions near the airport, including they use weapons which is prohibited by Minsk agreements. The center of battles on Avdiivka, where the enemy is using mortars and heavy cannons. In addition to suburbs of Donetsk, militants are trying to find weak places in our defense near Horlivka. In Luhansk direction, activity of militants is focused near Shastya, and also Krymsky and Sokivniki, which are closer to Bakhmutivsky highway. Facts of using big caliber of weapons were not found. At the information of State Border Service yesterday, in the sky over Donetsk region, Luhansk region, there were 21 drones of the enemy. During the last day, 1 soldier died and 3 were wounded. Ukraine continues to cooperate with OSCE for slow regulation resolving of the conflict in the east. A representative from Ukraine in the Center on Control and Coordination reported to OSCE and to representatives from Russian Federation proposals as to demilitarization of Shirokina. The plan includes a ceasefire, complete ceasefire, pulling back as units, and installing web cameras for surveillance, and also that Ukrainian military men demine the town and the territories. Ukraine is interested in peace in Shirokina, and it can be a new step to a peaceful resolution of the conflict, and that is possible only in case of full ceasefire by illegal military formations. Ukraine is not going to tolerate the aggression of militants. In the last report of OSCE mission, again, they mentioned that Russian mercenaries use provocations since the time the ceasefire was announced. And shelling about Shirokina, they lasted for 12 hours. Militants put on risk the life of monitors and some ammunition. They shelled upon the observation point of OSCE. Drones of OSCE noticed 17 tanks, 3 artillery, and also BTR near Shirokina. Ukrainian military men fight back all attacks of the enemy, and they will not leave that town until militants comply with Minsk agreements. Armed forces of Ukraine get training and radiation, chemical, and biological defense units. They had a training on demasking in Luhansk region. Those that allows to disguise the columns from the attacks of equipment from attacks of the enemy. Mariupol and Donetsk units of border guards, sea border guards, they were training upon targets, and they used anti-aircraft anti-aircraft systems. Here you can observe these on the monitor. Lviv doctors, they were trained together with the National Guards of Ukraine on the first aid to military men, and also transportation of the wounded to the safe place. Everybody could improve those necessary skills of military medicine. Ukrainian rescue groups help people of IDPs from the east to find temporary location where to live. And territories that are under the shell of militants, more than 17,000 people left, and two of them are 344 are children, and 4,103 are disabled people. The IDPs, the biggest number of IDPs are in the Kharkiv, Kiev region, and also liberated regions of Luhansk and Donetsk regions. Ukrainian authorities put all the efforts in to give the place where to the shelter to IDPs, and we found the place for more than 15,000 people recently. Young Ukrainians help our soldiers since the beginning of this year. A school from Lviv participates in fundraising for ATO. They helped volunteers to collect necessary things to our soldiers in the east, and they sent pictures, Easter eggs, and they don't forget about the wounded pupils. Collected necessary things for ATO soldiers. They are in hospitals. Several months ago, School 48 was visited by Yevhen Wozniuk, who was fighting in the east of Ukraine. He told about his experience of battles. Dear friends, this is all information I wanted to provide to you. If there is any question, you're welcome.
Good afternoon. Ukrainian News Agency, the question. Could you please tell, do you have information that now in Makiyevka the terrorists are bringing OSA system, probably for provocation or to strike? We received such information, we are verifying it, and we will tell about that during the next briefing. The next question on demilitarization of Shirokina, what the process depends on, what the completion of the process depends on. Could you explain, please, why we agreed, but the other side is still thinking about using this settlement for their purposes? And the process of demilitarization of Shirokina. The first item is the mandatory ceasefire by the bands, and that is not done now. After the militants stop firing near this settlement, we can talk about next steps, about withdrawal of units, about putting the observation point of OSCE to monitor the situation next to the settlement, and this should give our units the possibility to demine the villages around in order to demilitarize this settlement in the future. It will all depend on the other side, which has to stop firing. Other than now, the representatives of OSCE in Shirokina, there are their representatives there. I cannot tell you how many. Now about the holidays, the 1st and the 2nd and the 9th of May. Are any provocations planned by militants, and in which settlements? Ukrainian law enforcement bodies, the Security Service of Ukraine, the Ministry of the Interior, are examining the situation carefully, are processing all the signals that we receive, and are ready to immediately react to any provocations, to any attempts of acts of terrorism, and ensure normal celebration of May holidays. Any other questions to Oleksandr? If no, then thank you for the information, and tomorrow